We don't know what 2025 will hold for us, and you never know when your family will be affected by a disaster of some degree. We aim to be prepared no matter what comes our way. Hey guys, it's Jara with Wicked Prepared. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is our first video since reaching 100,000 subscribers. So I just want to take a quick moment to say thank you to each and every one of you who choose to spend time with us every week here on Wicked Prepared. Whether you're a new subscriber or you've been here with us since the very beginning, and everyone in between, we truly appreciate each and every one of you. It's fitting that I'm sharing a Prepper Pantry haul today, since that's one of the kind of videos that our viewers have loved from the very beginning. I share what preps and Prepper Pantry items we've been stocking up on lately and why. And we hear from so many people who just love watching and usually seeing something new that they hadn't thought of, or maybe hearing a new perspective on something that hadn't occurred to them before. Prepping is not a one and done kind of affair. It's a continual process of adding, improving, and most importantly, rotating through food, supplies, and gear. Building an advanced supply of the shelf-stable food your family eats, finding shelf-stable versions of the perishable goods that you rely on, and gathering the gear to get you through emergencies, big and small. From power outages to lockdowns or supply chain issues and beyond. One thing we've learned over the last 5 years is that we need to expect the unexpected, and that being prepared is more important now than ever. But we've also learned all the other ways that being prepared can help us, from saving time to saving money, besides just saving us in times of disaster. Let's get started and see what we've added to our preps and our Prepper Pantry lately. I'm going to start right over here. First, I've got some shelf-stable protein and meal options that I found, new things I bought to try. This is a pork chili verde in a can. This is a large can, 25 ounces. This is something I've seen before, but I've never tried before, so I thought I would grab one to try. I do love chili verde pork, so if this is good, I'm sure I'll stock up on a lot more. And then all of these packets, these right here are something new that I hadn't seen before. I don't know if they're new or if I just hadn't seen them, but these are made by Starkist, the tuna brand, and these are smart bowls. So these are like grain bowls. So this is pasta with beans and tuna. So this is kind of like a complete meal. It would be a small meal, but that's part of what I like about this. It's shelf stable. Look at how small this package is. It's very slender. You could fit it in a very small space, tuck it away anywhere. And it contains pasta, beans, veggies, and tuna for basically a complete meal or snack. You can see it's got 10 grams of protein. I did break my cardinal rule. Usually I would say don't buy a whole bunch of something if you've never tried it, but this was the only way that I could get a semi-decent price per pack, because we don't have this at my local grocery store, and I wasn't able to get a good price online unless I bought a case of 12. So hopefully this is good. Usually I can find someone in my family who likes just about anything, so we don't let anything go to waste. These other packets I was able to get in smaller amounts, and these are all Starkist as well. So I just got one of each of these. This is another one of the bowls, the grain bowls. So this is a barley and beans with tuna, tomato basil. The other one was Mediterranean style flavor. I did grab 2 of these just because, I don't know, I just like to get usually 2 of something, even if I'm trying it for the first time. And then these other things are not complete meals. They're just proteins. They're something you could use in a meal. Now, I don't think these are new because I have seen some of these before, but they just hadn't really been on my radar. So I've got beef creations and chicken creations. This time for the beef, I grabbed a couple taco and a couple sloppy joe. And the chicken, I grabbed a couple of chipotle. These are little single serving sizes. You can see it's a very thin package. It's all sealed up, shelf stable. I haven't read great reviews on these beef ones, so I'm just going to give them a try. I'm hoping that they'll be good and useful, but I'm not sure. The chicken would probably be a little bit better. These would be perfect if they are any good. They'll be perfect for bug out bags, for keeping some food in your vehicle, lots of different things like this. Maybe some little single serving shelf stable meal kits. There's also some other flavors of these that I'm excited to try, but like I said, I'm having a hard time finding them near me, so I'm just getting what I can get when I can get it. Next, I've got this box of Ruby shake packets. Now what these are is these are little shakes that are completely fruits and vegetables. That's all that's in them. And they're really meant to be mixed with water or milk or some other liquid and drank as a shake. So that's how we tend to use them. But somebody asked me the other day about prepping for small spaces when you don't have a lot of storage. And honestly, this is a great secret for that, because These little packets, each packet, you can see once again how small this is, how small and thin. I really love things like this that can be fit into small spaces. And each one of these contains several servings, several complete servings of fruits and vegetables. I want to say 3 to 5 servings. And if you wonder how that's possible, it's because these are made with freeze-dried fruits and vegetables. So what happens is when they're freeze-dried, it removes all of the water. So that water becomes airspace. So then once they are powdered, they shrink down to very little volume, because most fruits and vegetables are actually made up of something like 80 to 90% water at least. So a serving of a fruit or vegetable powder is only about a tablespoon, whereas the serving of the whole fresh fruit or vegetable would be about half a cup usually. So if you consider how many servings of fruits and vegetables are in this little box about the size of a shoebox, that is a whole lot of nutrition right here if you need to pack a lot into a small space. You can either drink these as a shake, or you could mix them into your oatmeal or yogurt or anything like that. And of course, they've got these 5 different formulas. Each one is meant for a different purpose: heart and cardio, immune and skin, stress, detox and gut health, and mental focus, basically. And each of them has a different combination of fruits and vegetables in them. So you can have a huge variety of fruit and vegetables in just this small space. Next, I've got a few other things. These are things that I have been taking daily, and they're also things that I want to have extra of, so that if we get into an emergency situation where I'm not able to get things from the store or through the mail for a period of time, I have what I need. This is basically like a probiotic supplement, but this contains probiotics, prebiotics, and enzymes. It's great for gut health and digestion, and this is actually really good for like candida yeast. I think that's how you pronounce that. But this is a really awesome supplement. And then this one I've been using daily for quite a while. I put it in my tea. This has done wonders for my digestion. This is a prebiotic, so it's a lot of fiber and things like that. It helps the probiotics work in your body better, and it helps your digestion, and in turn your gut health, and then in turn your immune system, because all that is controlled together. So if you were in an emergency situation, you would definitely want to make sure that your digestion and your immune system all stayed in top condition. So I like to have plenty of these things on hand. Next, I've got a few pieces of gear here. So this is a Halo Bolt Air. This is like a car jump starter. I have one of these, and then my middle daughter just got her license. And you know how that is when you're sending them out on the road by themselves for the first time. So I wanted her to have one of these. So this can jumpstart your car without needing another car, because it's a big battery. You can also charge like your phone or something off of it if you need to. Any USB device can charge off of this. And this one, because it's the air, it has, it can actually blow up your tires. So this is a really good emergency item to have in your car. It's very small. This one's still in the package because I haven't even given it to her yet. But it is a small unit, and you can get a storage case for it. I have a storage case for mine. I think I got her one for this. So this is just a really great item to have in your vehicle emergency kit. Next, I've got these little button lamps. These stick on, and it says you can put them just about anywhere. I found these at Tractor Supply when I was in there working on my latest video before this one. It says press to test, but I haven't been able to get them to work. So I need to open this up and make sure that they are functioning and that I didn't get a bad package and I have to take it back. But you can stick them anywhere. They're waterproof, weatherproof, indoor, outdoor, shockproof, it says. And I think these would be great to have, not just for emergencies, but if you are in an emergency and the power's out in some of those places that you might be used to having a light, this could be great. I think they could also be really good for your vehicle. Now this right here is a heated jacket. I also got this for my middle daughter because I have one of these. I have this exact same jacket. I've had it for a year now, and I like it so much that I wanted to get her the same one. I'll show you what I like about it. This jacket is, you can tell it's like a puffy quilted material. It's not just a shell, and this really makes jackets a lot more warm. So it's much warmer on its own than it would be without this puffiness. And then it has this lining on the inside, which is kind of a gold color, and I'm not really sure how, but it is supposed to help it be warmer on its own, and it really is. It does have an attached hood. The hood on this one is not heated. However, I did get her also a heated vest because she works on a horse farm, so she is outside, you know, basically all day, every day, rain, snow, sleet, hail, no matter how cold it is, she has to be out. So the vest I got her, I don't have here because she didn't even want to let me have it long enough to put it in my video, but that one has a heated hood. So I will link that down below if anyone wants to check it out. This one, the hood isn't heated, but I really love that it's heated right around the openings where your hands come out. And then it's got the little openings for your thumb too. So it really, really keeps your hands warm, which is really awesome. It has a pocket where the battery pack goes. So you just zip that right in there. And the really great thing about these is the battery pack could also be used to charge like your cell phone or something if it was an emergency and you needed to charge your phone. So we do use these on an everyday basis, but I also think these would be great for a winter power outage or some kind of winter emergency situation. You know, if you're stuck in your vehicle somewhere in the winter or your power's out at home and it's really cold in the house, these would be great to have. And I also got an extra battery. This is not the same brand. You can get a battery from the same brand of jacket, but this one was cheaper. So I'm going to try this first. I have to just double check. We haven't checked to see that it works in it. It was a little confusing reading about the hookups and what it would work with, but I think it will work. And this was a little bit less expensive than the branded one, because I think having a spare battery charged up as well would be a great thing, especially if you don't have a power station or something to charge something like this in a power outage. Next, I've got some freeze-dried items right here. I've got some freeze-dried Hamburg, which is great to have. This, of course, is a protein. It's going to have a lot better texture than like a canned Hamburg or any kind of ground meat. When it's canned is kind of yucky, or even pouches like these. Usually the texture is not great. So we love to have freeze-dried meats for our prepper pantry, and I also use them to make my meals in a jar, which are really awesome. I have friends who use this because they don't like dealing with raw meat, and this is fully cooked, so you don't have to deal with raw meat if you don't like it. So it's really a great addition to your pantry. And then I got some Granny Smith apples because these are being discontinued, so I'm not going to be able to get these anymore, so I'm trying to get them while I can. I'm not too sad about this one because the Granny Smith apples aren't my favorite. I like the Fuji apples better, but Mr. Wicked Prepared likes these, and I do like to use these for baking. And then I've got a couple of cans of peaches, a can of corn, and a can of broccoli. So this is a pack. It's like a value pack that I got all these items for together for a little bit cheaper than buying them separately. And then I got these meals. The reason I got these meals is because, once again, it was a value pack on sale. So it was basically 5 meals for less than $50, which is less than $10 a meal. And these are really big meals. I'm not sure if you can tell, but they're bigger than your typical emergency freeze-dried meals like this. These are 3 servings. Most of the meals you get are 2. Now, these would really probably feed 2 people, and those 2 serving pouches usually feed 1 person, but still, they're bigger than most of the pouches out there. So 5 meals. For some reason, I only have 4 here. I think Mr. Wicked Prepared grabbed the pot roast, the beef pot roast meal on his way out to his workshop because that's one of his favorite meals. And when he gets working on a project, he does not like to stop, so he likes to have food out there in his workshop. He does have a microwave for heating water, so he is all set. But the 5th meal would have been a beef pot roast, and then I've got this creamy beef with rotini pasta, which is basically like a stroganoff. This one's really good. Creamy mashed potato bowl. This is sort of like a KFC bowl. It's got the gravy, chicken, veggies, mashed potatoes. Of course, it doesn't stay layered in the pouch. It's all mixed together, but it's really good. A ton of people love this meal. This is a lot of people that I know's favorite meal. And then, like I mentioned, the beef pot roast, and then the other 2 are breakfast meals. So you can have these for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So basically, instead of buying those buckets that give you a bunch of meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you can actually get better meals and save money by creating your own buckets or bins, whatever you choose to put them in. So there's a blueberry oatmeal. That's pretty self-explanatory. Apple cinnamon granola. What I like about this one is that it has milk, like powder, in it. So you can put just water in it and you will be having like granola with milk, basically cereal with milk. These are really handy to have in the prepper pantry because they're a complete meal. There's no thinking involved. There's no pulling different stuff together to make a meal. But we also use these a lot for traveling. We like to bring these with us when we travel in case we get stuck somewhere, or just so that we don't have to always go out. Or if we don't have a rental car on a certain trip, we don't have to be using like Uber Eats and stuff because that is really expensive. So these save us a lot of time and money when we travel, and we do have a trip coming up, so we'll be packing up some more meals. And this is another company that has an amazing program for earning free credit, so you can earn free food from them. There's several different ways you can do it. If you want to know more about that, send me a text that says earn to my number that I'm going to put down at the bottom of the screen, and I will let you know more. Next, I got right here, I've got another little meal, sort of shelf-stable meal. I don't know what you want to call it. This is a little carton, and part of what I like about this is that it is completely square cornered. You can see how well these stack together, so these would not waste any space in your prepper pantry or anywhere that you wanted to stash them or store them. This is a Thai style chicken bowl, which I really like these flavors. So I'm going to try this and hopefully this is good, because once again, I did buy a case of this one. That's the only way I could find it, was buy the case. But I'm pretty sure that I will like this. This has a best by date of the end of June in 2026. So it's good for about a year and a half. You know, it will stay good longer than that, but we know it will at least be good for a year and a half, which is really good. It's really great to have items like this in the prepper pantry because they don't require anything. They don't require water. They don't require cooking. You would probably want to heat them, but if you couldn't heat them for some reason, if you don't have an emergency stove or for some reason it wasn't working, you could just eat that as is and eat it cold, and it would be perfectly safe, edible, and fulfilling. Next, I've got a bunch of different pasta because we are a pasta loving family, and I think pasta is a great thing to have in your prepper pantry because it's inexpensive. It stores really well in my experience. It cooks pretty quickly and easily, and most people do enjoy it. I only have one here that's really normal pasta, and that's just this fettuccine. This is just something we needed to restock because my kid's been eating a lot of fettuccine. I typically buy whole grain pastas, but for certain shapes like this that I can't easily find in whole grain, I just buy regular. These I bought for myself. These are egg white noodles. So these are like low carb noodles. Actually, see, I have this one open. You can see they come in a little pouch like this. These, once again, you can see that they were packaged in October of 2024, and they're good until April of 2026. So once again, about a year and a half stated shelf life on the package, and we do know that most things last longer than that. These are less than 1 carb per serving. They are packed in water, so you wouldn't have to add water to these like you would with typical pasta. I've never tried these before. I got these to try and see how they are. Usually I can find some kind of sauce that I can put on these types of pasta that will help me enjoy it, because sometimes these low carb pastas have a funny texture or a funny taste, but if you get the right sauce on them, it usually covers it up pretty well. So we've just got spaghetti and vermicelli. And I do love that they come in these nice boxes that'll be really good for storing them on the pantry shelf as well. Next, I've got some gluten-free pasta here. Nobody in my house has to eat gluten-free, but I grabbed these because, number one, they are mafalda pasta, which is a shape that's really difficult to find, at least for me where I live. I have a hard time finding it, and when I find it online, I have to pay a pretty hefty price. So I'm always open to trying different ones. This is gluten-free, so it definitely wasn't inexpensive, but I thought I would try it because also I get a lot of people asking about gluten-free variations on some of the meal in a jar recipes I do. So if I have tested out some different pastas and can give some recommendations, then I like to do that. I will have links down below to where I found all of this stuff if it's not something that's really just easy to find at Walmart or something. Next, I got some of these lo mein noodles. My kids love lo mein. That's one great thing about pasta, is that you can have all different sorts of types of food with pasta. You can have Italian food, you can have Asian food, you can have all sorts of different types of dishes with pasta. I recently did meals in a jar that were fried rice and lo mein, so I restocked my lo mein noodles. I did mention the fettuccine already. These are just regular fettuccine. Next, here I've got some ibuprofen. We don't use a lot of medications in our house, but ibuprofen is one that we do use, pretty regularly for headaches or body aches or whatever. It's a really good thing to have on hand. Most everybody probably uses ibuprofen. I bought 2 of these. I thought I bought 3 of these 4-packs, but all that has showed up is 2. This is from Sam's Club, so maybe one is still on the way. I haven't gotten all my packages. I don't know why they wouldn't have sent them together, but these 2 weren't even in the same package. For some reason, each one of these came in its own separate small box with nothing else, even though I ordered these in the same order. It's so strange how the stores do things. But you definitely want to have a good supply, a good advanced supply of the medications that your family uses regularly. Have that on hand so that you're not going to run out if you're unable to get them for a while. Of course, just be mindful of their best by dates when you buy them and think about how quickly you will use them up. But it's been proven that medications and drugs will keep their potency for long after their best by dates, as long as they're stored in a dry and cool environment. Next, I got these little pickle packets. They're like little snack cups, but they're pickles. Like you would typically get these with applesauce or fruits, but these are pickles. I have a daughter who loves pickles. She likes all pickles, but she really likes these sweet pickles. So I like to have snacks on hand for the kids. Snacks are important in your prepper pantry. That's one thing that people say to me more often than anything else, that they wish they had more snacks when they actually have to live through any kind of a situation. Whether it's a power outage or the aftermath of a storm or a lockdown or whatever it may be, everyone always says they wish they had more snacks. Consider having as many foods as you can in smaller packages so that you don't have a lot of open containers if you don't have power for your refrigerator. Now, pickles is one thing that I typically don't mind just leaving set out because they're pickles. So I don't think they necessarily need to go in the refrigerator, even though I'm sure that it says they should. But it's still good to have smaller packs so you can open something and be done with it quickly and not have to worry about where you're going to store it in an emergency. Here I've got a whole bunch of this sweet and sour sauce. Now, this sweet and sour sauce, I'm not going to say it's my favorite sweet and sour sauce, but I use it in a specific recipe. Sweet and sour meatballs, it's a super easy recipe I can throw together when I need a quick, easy meal. Throw it in the crock pot. I put in a bag of meatballs, a few colored peppers chopped up, an onion chopped up, a can of pineapple, and then I put 2 jars of sweet and sour sauce. Now, I do have recipes where I make sweet and sour sauce from scratch, but if I'm in a hurry and I need a quick meal, this is a go-to of ours. And I usually use 1 jar of this and 1 jar of this, and that's just the way we like it. For me, this sauce is too sweet, and this sauce is not sweet enough, but when I combine them, it's perfect. I was having a really hard time finding this sauce. I could not get my hands on it. Where I live, I couldn't find it to order. I ended up ordering this big, like, gallon jug of it because I just couldn't find it anywhere. And I started to get worried that they weren't going to make it anymore. And then I finally found the bottles again on Walmart. But what I noticed when they came is that this is different. You can see it's different. This one says no preservatives added. So my first thought was maybe that's just a marketing ploy. You know how sometimes they'll put something on the packaging, like when gluten-free becomes a big thing, all of a sudden all these products say naturally gluten-free, even though they maybe never had gluten in them, but they just never wrote it on the label until it became a big marketing thing. But I did have 1 bottle left, one from what I had before, and so I compared the ingredients, and I could see this is the one, the old one. You can see it does have sodium benzoate, disodium inosinate, disodium guanylate. I don't even know how to say these words. So that was the old bottle. And this is the new bottle. It does not have any of those things that you can't pronounce. So they actually did change it. Now I'm just hoping that this one still tastes the same as this one, so we don't have to change up our whole recipe. I just used this bottle last night in dinner, and I did save it so I can taste a little bit of the little leftovers and taste the next bottle I open and just make sure that they're pretty much the same. But I really thought that was interesting. Next, I have got right here, it's hard to see what this is, but this is soy sauce powder. So this is a 3-pound bag of soy sauce powder. I use this a lot in my meals in a jar. I have a lot of favorite meals that we do, from chicken teriyaki to sweet and sour chicken to fried rice, all sorts of different meals in a jar that use soy sauce powder, and I needed to restock. So I grabbed a 3-pound bag. Now this comes in a bag because they sell like in bulk. You don't have to buy in bulk. You can get it in a small jar, but I buy it in bulk, and I will transfer this into mason jars, and that will keep it completely powdery, and I won't have any issues with it clumping or anything if I keep it in a mason jar. This company, Firehouse Flavors, is awesome. I know I have told you guys, all of my meal in a jar people know about this company. They have an amazing array of powdered ingredients. So if you like to do meals in a jar, if you like to make dip mixes or soup mixes, or if you like to have powders for travel or for camping or something like that, this is an amazing store that you should check out. I will have their website down below in the description box. They are a small family-owned company, and you can see that they are super, super thankful for all of their customers. They give free samples with every order. So this is the couple samples that I got this time. Ham broth, I am super excited about. Buttermilk powder, and they also sent me a chapstick, which is awesome. And even a little candy to go along with their name, Firehouse Flavors. I love it when companies give a nice personal touch like that and are appreciative of their customers. Next, I've got a few. These are basically holders for like medications or supplements. I am always looking for different ways to like carry different supplements or different vitamins, things like that when I'm traveling or when I want to have them in just with me, like in the car if I'm going somewhere. So I've got a few different things to try. These were just, each came as a set of 2. So I got 2 sets of 2. So you can see that these just sort of untwist. And then, of course, it's a little container to hold something, vitamins, supplements, powders. It does have the little gasket to make sure that these are going to be leak proof once they're sealed up. I love how this one is colorful. I like the bright colors. This other set I got, you can see it's marked with the days of the week, which could be handy if that's how you're using it. But if that's not how you're using it, then this one doesn't have the days of the week marked. Stay tuned for a video about everything that I take when we travel. And maybe you will see me using this if I decide that they're something I want to use. And then this is another container that is meant for supplements, but this is a really large one. You've probably seen containers like this before. I actually got this idea from my friend Eunice over at Theory of Simple. That's her channel. She has an awesome channel if you like travel related content. And every time we get ready to travel, I go over there and binge watch her stuff to get ideas. So she used this not for supplements because this is a large container. So she was using it for small snacks for taking on the airplane. And so I wanted to use this in the same way. And each of these compartments opens up individually, and then you can see that it magnetically closes, which is pretty cool. And like I mentioned, this is bigger than a container that I would typically use for medications or pills or supplements, but I think it'll be great for small snacks like nuts. And if you are a person who uses large amounts of supplements or medications, then this might work for you for that purpose. Next, I've just got a set of body wash, any type of, personal care items that you want to be able to use on an everyday basis. You should have an advanced supply of just in case, because there can be lots of different reasons you may not be able to get those things, whether you are stuck in your home because of some kind of weather event or some kind of political event, or whether it's a supply chain issue and there's nothing coming to the stores. Lots of different reasons to have an advanced supply. These kind of things are not going to go bad. And sometimes you'll even save money by buying them in bulk. A thing of dishwashing detergent, of course, same with all your household supplies, cleaning supplies, anything that your basics at least that you don't want to be without, make sure you have a good amount. Over here I've got, this is a favorite seasoning of ours. We use so much of this seasoning. And so I just ordered 2 more big bottles of it because we go through a lot of this. This is an awesome seasoning. It works well on so many different things. So if you haven't tried this, you might want to check it out. Next, I've got a few pet things. I've got some freeze-dried dog food, or this is actually pet food that can be for dogs and cats. And that's part of why I like this for our emergency preparedness, because it's freeze-dried, so it is going to last quite a while. This is not packaged for long-term storage like the freeze-dried human food that I had, but we can repackage this if we want it to last longer. And it's light because it's freeze-dried. Freeze-dried food is very light, so if we needed to pack this with us, because if you evacuate, you're going to hopefully be able to take your animals with you. And then the other thing is it can be for dogs and cats, so I don't have to worry about filling our go bags or anything like that with separate foods. Of course, it is freeze-dried, so because it is freeze-dried, you're going to want to make sure you have a water source. So always remember to store water for your pets and your animals and your livestock, as well as for yourself. And in your go gear as well, have water stored. This one is a freeze-dried raw food because there is a lot of research about raw food for pets being really good. But if you're not using raw food because for whatever reason, maybe your pet is too young for it or you're just not into that, this of course can be cooked as well. But it's very, very nutritious food with real whole human grade foods, but designed for pets. So it has all of their nutrition. Next, I've got a bunch of cream of chicken soups. I use this in so many recipes. I grew up cooking with Campbell's soup, honestly. And this is in a lot of our family favorite recipes. So I like to keep a lot of it on hand. I don't really like the store brands as much when it comes to soups like this. I always want to get the Campbell's. So I try to get a good deal when I can. I've been finding deals on Amazon. And so I've been buying as much as I can when I see it on sale, because canned goods are going to last for a very, very long time. Just about forever. Although I do see quality changes with soups specifically if they get too far past their dates, but you've got quite a few years to use them up. So I stock up when I can. But there's just so many meals you could make if you just take some kind of pasta or rice and a can of soup like this, maybe some canned or freeze-dried vegetables and a meat like chicken or hamburger, and throw that all together and you will have a complete meal like a casserole. So it's a great item to have in your emergency pantry, because when you might not have fresh ingredients, you can still make a really good complete meal with all the food groups that's going to taste good by using something like this. And then I've got some cereal. I like to keep plenty of cereal in our extended pantry because this is something that my kids eat a ton of. I think it's a good item to have because it's pretty complete. It's fortified. So it can help with, nutrition and emergencies. As long as you have some kind of milk, powdered or boxed milk, to put with it, you can have a pretty satisfying meal without having to cook. These wheat Chex in particular, we don't usually eat them as cereal, but when I make something like Muddy Buddies or Chex Mix, I like to add the wheat in for the extra whole grain so they get some fiber in there. Next, I've got a big bag of pancake mix from Sam's Club. Pancake mix like this, that's just add water. You can see it's just add water mix. This is an awesome thing to have for your prepper pantry, I think, because it's super easy. All you have to do is add water, fry it in a pan really quickly, and you've got a meal. And it's something that's going to be filling and satisfying and comforting and easy. And all of those things are important when you are in an emergency situation. With the pancake mix, I know I ordered 2 bags of this. Only one has shown up. This is Sam's Club again, so I must have another box coming. But it's 10 pounds of pancake mix. And then I've got a big box, 18 boxes of this Kraft mac and cheese. This was also from Sam's Club. Mac and cheese is a classic prepper pantry item. My kids love it. If you use something like this in your prepper pantry, make sure that you can take care of the milk and butter component that it calls for. Remember that some foods call for something extra like that. You don't necessarily have to put in the milk and butter, especially probably the butter, but if you don't put in a little something, it's not going to taste very good. I did have a couple of things that I wanted to get to right off before I forget because they're too big to put on my counter for very long. And one of them is what's in this box. This is a case or a box full of Gamma lids. These are for your 5-gallon buckets, which a lot of people use to store bulk dry goods. Things like rice, beans, pasta, really anything could be stored in a bucket. Many people put smaller packages of a variety of foods in. And these lids are what you really want to get to put on the bucket. They're going to tap right into your bucket. This is how it goes. They're going to tap right onto your bucket and basically go on there basically permanently. And it gives your bucket, number one, a watertight and airtight seal, but it also gives it this twist off lid. So it's easy to access what you have in the buckets without having to pry off a plain lid. I got this case of 12 from Azure Standard, and I really think that is probably the best source or one of the best sources to get these from as far as price goes. You get a better price from them buying in bulk, so that's why I got a case of 12. The only thing that I was a little bit bummed about is they have all different colors, and they do tell you that you have no control over the color that you get. And it shows all of the colors together on the listing. And I was really hoping to get a variety of colors, so maybe I could do color coding. But I guess because I ordered a case, I got all the same color. But that's definitely not a deal breaker for me, because if I do wanted to do color coding, I could use tape or something like that, or even spray paint. But really, this is the best deal on these lids that I have found, at least recently. And these are definitely must-have for prepping. We did have to get one other prep recently that will not fit up on this counter, and that is a generator. We recently purchased a new generator. We had a generator that we had had for years, and it was never brand new to us. We got it used, and Mr. Wicked Prepared fixed it up because he's handy with stuff like that. And that was just a way for us it was the only way that we could afford it at the time. And we have been using it for years, and of course we had maintained it, and we had just tested it before this winter, gotten it, made sure it was still in working order, which is definitely what you should be doing with your preps like that. But we had a storm on Thanksgiving, actually, and the power went out at night on Thanksgiving, and it was freezing cold. And when Mr. Wicked Prepared went to start the generator, it would not put out power. And basically, after fixing it for years and limping it along for years, we decided it was probably time to invest in a new one. But this is the prime example of why they say you need to have backups for your backups. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. All of those phrases they say, because you never know when something is going to stop working or not work when you need it. So you need to make sure that you have other options that can help take care of your needs. Now back to my back row of stuff. Oh, I do have these. This is a 3-pack. I buy these in a 3-pack because it's the least expensive way that I've found to buy them. These are sugar-free, no sugar added, kind of keto snack. So I love these because I love chocolate-covered almonds. And so I like having these ones without sugar. They're a little bit expensive, but sometimes it's worth it to be able to keep yourself eating properly. This is something that will last for quite a while in the prepper pantry, to have some snacks on hand. These are also good for packing. Like I said, we're going to be traveling. So this is one of the things I'm probably going to put in that little pill case for a snack. It says that this bag contains 3.5 servings, so I definitely don't eat a serving. When I eat it, I only eat 3, 4, or 5 of these almonds, and that's enough to satisfy me. So I know there's a lot more than that in this bag. So that helps that I eat less than a full serving. And next I've got a bunch of paper products or disposable products, plastic products. You can see over here, I've got obviously toilet paper. We know why we need to stock up on a lot of toilet paper so that we're not involved in any of the panic buying that seems to happen every time something's going awry. This, for me, is the best deal on toilet paper that I can find. It's the Great Value, these mega rolls, 30 mega rolls. It's a really good deal. Some paper plates and bowls and things like that from Sam's Club. That, for me, is the cheapest place for most of these. There's one thing that I do get at Walmart that's cheaper there, but even if you're a person who doesn't use paper products like this, disposable paper products very often, you might want to consider having some on hand for emergencies, because if the power's out and you don't have hot water and stuff for an extended period of time, you're probably not going to want to have to be doing a bunch of dishes. And with these paper goods, you can burn them in your wood stove if you have one, or an outdoor fire pit or something, so you're not creating a lot of extra waste. And then I got all of these plastic bags. These I've got freezer bags and storage bags in multiple different sizes. I just got 2 of each. I got sandwich baggies, and then I got quart and gallon bags, but I also got something I was really excited to find, and that is these half-gallon size bags. I had never seen these before, so I don't know if these are new or if I just haven't been paying attention, because this is how I tend to shop. I buy a whole bunch all at once, and then I don't have to think about it for quite a while. So it's possible that these have been around and I just haven't seen them because I haven't had to buy these types of products for quite a while. But these are half gallons, which I thought was really cool. Now, I always buy these double zipper. They don't have that little plastic piece that pulls across, because it is considerably less expensive per bag to buy just the plain zipper that you have to press instead of the ones with the slider. So I have gotten used to just using this pressable zipper, which I think seals better anyways and is less likely to break than those sliders. But bags like these can be useful in an emergency if you need to store some leftovers or something like that. You can throw it in a bag, not have to worry about washing a container. You can put it out in a snowbank if it's winter and you don't have your refrigerator running. You can also use these to pack a lot of different supplies and gear if you want to pack them, say, in your bug out bag or in your car kit or something like that. And you want to separate some of your different supplies and things and keep them categorized and maybe keep them a little bit protected from like water and stuff, and at the same time not spend a whole bunch of money on specialized containers. This is a great way to go. And then I've got some parchment paper back here. I use a ton of parchment paper, just mostly for lining pans. I've started to steer away from aluminum, or I guess for quite a few years I've been steering away from aluminum. We hear that it's not great to cook our food with aluminum, so whether or not that's true, I figure it doesn't hurt to, try to eliminate it as much as I can. So I no longer like line pans with aluminum foil and things like that. But one thing I do like to do is use disposable aluminum pans when I'm doing freezer cooking and things like that. And I like to do that with my emergency meals because, same reason, if you don't have electricity and hot water, you might not want to have to wash pots and pans. So tell me what you think about this, because I am not sure, but my thought process is if I line my pans, aluminum pans, with parchment paper, it would eliminate that contact with the food and it would be much better. So I'm not 100% certain if that would work out like I'm thinking, but let me know what you think. Would that really protect from the aluminum on the food by lining it with the parchment, or would it still be just as bad? Keep in mind, preparedness looks different for every person and every family. It's going to vary greatly depending on your needs, as well as your budget and space availability. But where there's a will, there's a way. It can be as simple as buying an extra can or two of food, or an extra bag of rice or box of pasta whenever you can, or tucking away a few dollars here and there to save for something bigger. Do what you can when you can, and remember to live by the words, store what you use and use what you store. And you'll find being prepared helps you with so many things, but most of all, with peace of mind. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a 100 emoji down in the comments and check out this video next for a complete prepper pantry guide. I'm Jara with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.